Hi guys, welcome to the Wellness Collective's free yoga on Saturday. My name is Sam, I'm the yoga instructor there. And today we're going to be going into a yin yang yoga fusion flow. And so yin yoga is more you take just certain poses and you hold them for like an extended period of time. And the theory is that like you hold these poses and not only does it alleviate muscle tension, stress, anxiety, because you're just physically letting your muscles relax for an extended period of time. But it also, we tend to hold a lot of stress, a lot of emotions, a lot of pent up energy in our hips, our shoulders, our lower back. And so when we hold these positions for extended periods of time, like in a traditional yin yoga class, it could be held for like 5 to 10 minutes. Today we're just holding them for a couple minutes, but in a typical yin class, you only do maybe 5 to 10 different poses throughout the whole hour and a half. But really, when you're holding these poses, it allows that energy to kind of come up to the surface. You're releasing it out of the joints, out of your ligaments. It's coming out of your body. And so you're able to actually process it better. It's coming up. And sometimes, it's not abnormal for people in a yin class to feel a sudden urge to cry for no reason, or sometimes they laugh or whatever, because they're just these emotions that are coming up that we've pent up in our body for so long. And combining that with the yang is more of the traditional side of yoga. That's more like the vinyasa flow, where it's more fluid, it's more movement oriented, more power focused. And, you're getting your heart rate up, you're moving your muscles, you're moving from one pose to another, that's that yang, that masculine energy. And just combining the yin with the yang yoga is a really good way to kind of get into those emotions and get deeper into your muscles, but also gives us the ability to, for me anyway, a lot of times I process things through somatically healing and getting up and moving and physically moving more, and that yang gives us that physical movement. So there will be like short flows throughout, today's practice, but just take it as your own pace. And as always, they're always just suggestions. And it's really the most important thing is just listening to your body and doing what feels good. And if you just want to sit in child's pose for an hour, that's totally fine. If you want to sit in Savasana, if you want to try and move through these, just about listening to and connecting with your body and setting this intention and really allowing it to go from there. For today, if you have pillows or blankets, sometimes they're really helpful when we're in the yin postures, just because you want it to be, you want it to, feel like you're in a stretch, but you also want to be comfortable. So sometimes having a little pillow or blanket underneath your chest, underneath your lower back or wherever can kind of help us sit in those positions a little bit easier for a little bit longer. And just 1 second. I'm just going to make our way over to our mats. We're going to start in a kneeling position, so there's like thunderbolt position on the back of our mat. Just take a few deep breaths sitting here. Just begin to center yourself to the present moment. If you want to set an intention for your practice, take a deep inhale and lift your arms, raise them up. And as we exhale, bring it down through center. Your hands at your heart. Just set your intention for today. And if you're ready, I'm just going to start interlace your hands behind your back. Lift your chest up. Start reaching your fists down towards your mat as you lift your chest towards the ceiling. Get a deep breath in, just opening your chest up. As we exhale, we're going to fold forward into a child's pose, reaching your fists towards the ceiling. Just beginning to stretch your shoulders out a little bit. Inhale, just lifting them up. Exhale, seeing if you can reach your fist towards your mat. Next inhale, slowly lift back up, reaching your fists behind you. And bringing your fist over to your right hip. And begin to just roll your neck down, your right ear towards your right shoulder, chin towards your chest, left ear towards your left shoulder. Starting doing some neck circles. If it feels good to stay in one position, better than the other rather than moving. Let's inhale, bring your fist back down to the mat below, behind you, looking up. As you exhale, bring them over to your left hip. And same thing, just roll out the neck this way. Next, inhale, reach your fist behind you again, looking up, lifting your chest up. And as we exhale, folding down into our child's pose again. This time you can release your hands, just walk them out in front of you. Just let your forehead rest on your mat. It feels good to roll your forehead from side to side a little bit. Or if it feels better to sit in the stillness. Deep breath in as well. Next inhale, we're going to come up onto our fingertips. Push our hips forward. Just coming into an easy cobra pose. Your elbows can be bent at your side. Just lifting your chest up, pulling your shoulders back. Beginning to wake that spine up. And on the exhale, just push yourself back to child's pose. And the inhale, coming back to cobra again. Push your hips forward. Exhale, we're just going to come push ourselves back just into a tabletop position. You can adjust yourself. You just want your shoulders over your wrists, your hips over your knees. I'm just going to do some cat cows. You can do them at whatever pace feels good. But if you can inhale, look up, bring your belly button down to your mat, lift your hips up, pull your shoulders back. Exhale, round your shoulders. Bring your navel to your spine, tuck your tailbone. Inhale, look up. Exhale, tuck. Go as fast or slow as feels good for you. Don't put any other movement. Come back to neutral. Gonna inhale, lift that right arm up. And as we exhale, we're gonna thread the needle through, so bringing our right shoulder down to your mat. Bringing our hips above our knees. Have to push that left hip back sometimes. You can keep your hands out in front of you, or you can walk them over to the right corner of your mat. Put your arm behind your back and reach for your thigh. Whatever feels good for you. We're just going to hold this for a few breaths. Really releasing the tension in the shoulder. Wherever you feel discomfort or unease, just imagine inhaling. Imagine that breath going to that area of tension. And as you exhale, tension's just leaving the body. Walk that left hand back so it's underneath your shoulder. Push yourself up. Bring that right arm back into your tabletop. We're going to do the other side. Inhale, lift the left arm up at the ceiling. As you exhale, thread the needle through, bring the left shoulder blade to your mat. And same thing, you can leave your right hand out in front of you. Walk it over to the left corner of your mat. Or wrap it behind your back, grabbing for that left thigh. And stay here for a few breaths. Allow yourself to really fall into the pose. Feel your muscles release. Let energy release. Feel free to adjust yourself too whenever you need to into your body. Sending that fresh inhale air to wherever you have tension or stress. Just imagine it being released from your body with each exhale. You're ready, bring that right hand back underneath the shoulder. Push yourself back up into our tabletop pose. And now you're going to bring our knees out a little wide. This is if you have a pillow. Now might be a good time to just put it underneath your chest area. We're going to bring our knees out kind of as wide as you can, but you want to have your legs at a 90-degree angle. It's called frog pose. And flex your feet. So go as far as feels comfortable for you to kind of open those hips. This is our first hip opener. Then you just want to come down onto your elbows, or if you can, if it feels good, you can come down onto your chest. And just you feel that release in your chest and your hips. So first deep hip opener. Take your time to get comfortable in this pose. You need an extra pillow or an extra blanket. You can also put a pillow or blanket underneath your legs over here to kind of help ease that tension. We store a lot of our emotions in our hips. So a lot of people have kid legs. release the emotion and process it. Just stays in our body. Really allow us to feel and sit through the discomfort. Allow ourselves to develop like self-soothing techniques, breathing through the pain. You know, obviously not if it's painful, but like the discomfort. Just gonna take a couple more breaths here. Slowly just bring your arms back underneath your shoulders. Begin to push yourself up, your feet in. Walk your knees back into our tabletop position. Just step your feet out one at a time. And lower yourself down to your mat. Turning your feet over. And just come up onto our forearms. Into our sphinx pose. Our shoulders are rolled back. Our chest is up. Just lower yourself down, bringing your hands by your chest. You're gonna just lift up to an easy cobra pose. Just bending that back a little bit more. Feels good to look over one shoulder. Another shoulder. Release down. We're going to bring our hands out to the side of our mat, a couple inches out onto our fingertips. And inhale and push up into our seal pose. Your shoulders rolled away from your ears, your chest is open, lifted. And release back down. Your hands underneath your shoulders. Lift up into our upward dog. On the tops of our feet, your thighs are lifted, your hips are lifted. And as we exhale, tuck our toes, lift our hips. You can just like bend in your knee on our first down dog. That feels good. You just want to walk it out. One leg at a time. When you're ready, just bring your feet about a little bit wider than hip distance. Reach that right arm with the left ankle. Reach your chest towards the ceiling. Let's twist it down dog. You can reach for your ankle, your thigh, your calf. Whatever you can grab to, you're just twisting towards the side. Exhale back to center. We're going to reach the left hand for your right ankle, calf, or thigh. Twist to the left. Back through center. And just slowly walk your feet up towards your hands. You can have your feet bent and just stand, your legs bent. Just standing in your forward fold. And just give me 1 second. Sorry about that. So we're just in our standing forward fold with your knees bent. And just let your fingertips slowly graze the side of your body as you just slowly roll up, one vertebrae at a time. So you come to standing. Inhale, lift your arms up. And as we exhale, sit back into your chair pose. So your feet are about hip distance apart. Sitting back as far as feels good for you. Move your hands overhead or at heart center. Working on that balance. And release your hands down to the floor into your forward fold again. And inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, you can jump or step out to your plank. Exhale down, chaturanga. Inhale to our upward dog. Exhale, lift up, your down dog. Inhale, lift that right leg up for three-legged dog. Bend the knee and stack the hips. Slowing that right heel. Let's go down towards the floor. You want to do some knee circles. Whatever big or small feels good. And bring it back through center. Step it in, bring it towards your nose. Step your right leg through between your hands. Bring the left knee down to the mat. Lift into our low lunge. Hands overhead. Adjust yourself, of course, as always. That right hip back, that left hip forward. Feels good to have a slight back bend. Just gonna take one more breath here. And bring your hands down beside your feet. Exhale, we're gonna straighten that right leg out. Flexing the right foot. Folding over in our half splits. It feels good to have some blocks on the side of you if that can make it easier. You can have some blocks, give you a little extra balance, or just give you space. You want your spine to be straight, your chest lifted as you're folding over. You want it round over like that. Want these blocks?
Okay. Okay. Sure. Twist. Sorry.
And just folding over. We're not going to hold these as long as hand poses, but just a little bit longer than usual, just to feel the release a little bit more. Next inhale, we're going to bend that knee, come back into our low lunge. If it feels better to leave your hands at the side for you, you can do that. You can also have your hands on your knee or your hands overhead, whatever feels good. You do a little both. Just want to make sure you're pushing that left hip forward and that right hip back, trying to get them square. And feeling that tension in the left hip releasing. Bringing your hands on top of your right knee. If you want to just bend that back leg. Try and grab onto your left foot a little bit for a quad stretch. Releasing down and then straightening that right leg one more time to our half splits. And inhaling back over, tuck the back left toes, lift up. So we're in our runner's lunge. And we're going to walk our hands in front of our right foot and just slowly pivot that back foot. So we're coming onto our left heel. We kind of dive deeper into a side lunge on this side. So our left foot coming under our left heel, our foot is flexed. You don't have to be all the way bent down. You can stay like this, go as far as feels good for you. But eventually, just try and use that right elbow to keep that right knee back. So you're opening up the hips, stretching that left hamstring. Feels good to have your hands on heart center, or if you want some blocks for support. To be all the way down. Try and keep that chest lifted. Have your hands out in front of you. Support. And then just walk your hands back and pivot your foot over again back into your runner's lunge. And then we're going to windmill our arms up and over. So bring that back left foot down and over. So it's almost parallel with the back of the mat. It's the right knee on top of the right ankle, looking over your right fingertips. Just in our warrior two position. Want your shoulders to be over your hips if possible. These are all, everybody's body is different. Some people's body doesn't do that. So just aim for it. Inhale that right arm up. Slide that left arm down the left leg in our reverse warrior. Your next exhale, bring that right hand down beside the right foot or onto your right knee if that's uncomfortable. Reach that left arm up and over. Our extended side angle. Go like this. And reach that right arm for a little bit in front of that right foot. Slowly lift that back leg up, coming into our half moon. Your leg doesn't have to be all the way up. You need to just keep that right leg bent and just slowly work on lifting it up. You are up and you want a little bit more. And that left knee. Just take that left foot into your hand. And release. Coming back down through our warrior two. And windmill our hands over back to our runner's lunge. Step that right leg back to our three-legged dog. And slightly reach your toes for your forehead. And as we bring that right knee through, the right knee to the right corner of our mat. And the right ankle to the left side of the mat, coming into our half pigeon pose. And if you want to use any pillows for support, put a pillow under either of your hips, put under your right hip, or under your left hip, or underneath you like that, just to have a little extra support and have one under your chest. So you're going to be coming down and holding this pose for a few breaths. So you want to be comfortable. You want to have that back leg straight out behind you. And this right ankle doesn't have to be parallel with the top of the mat. Be as close or as far away from your body as feels good. And just slowly start to walk yourself down to the mat. It's a really good hip opener. Another 2 breaths here. Slowly just walk your hands back up the back left toes. Step that right leg back into our plank. The hips up into our down dog. And slowly walk your feet towards your hands in our forward fold. It feels good to just shake your legs out a little bit. Just twist side to side. Whatever feels good for your body. Inhale and slowly roll ourselves up to standing. Rolling the shoulders back. Inhale the arms up. Then as we exhale, sit back into our chair pose again. Have your hands up in front of you at heart center. Two more breaths here. And release your hands down to your mat. Over into our forward fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, jump or step out to your plank. Down, chaturanga. Inhale, upward dog. Exhale, downward dog. I'm going to do the other side now. Inhale, lift that left leg up to a three-legged dog. And the knee and stack the hips. Reaching that left heel towards the neck. It feels good to do some knee circles. Start to roll your knee. Back through center. Come on, reaching that foot for your head. And inhaling your knee to your nose. Stepping that left foot through between your hands. Bring that right knee down to our mat. And inhaling into a low lunge. And if it feels better for you to have your hands on your knee or on blocks at the side, listen to your body and do what feels good. Try and reaching that right hip forward now, that left hip back. Breath, inhale in. And as we exhale, we want to straighten that left leg out. Flex in the left foot. Holding over our left leg into our half splits. You have to adjust yourself to that. One side might be more flexible than the other. How it goes. And if you have blocks or something that makes this a little bit easier for you, a little more comfortable. Want your spine straight, your chest lifted as you fold it over. Inhaling back and back, that left knee again, coming to that low lunge one more time. Just for a few more breaths. It feels good to have a slight back bend. Moderate. On your next exhale, straighten that left leg for that half split one more time. Inhale, bend that left knee again. Tuck the right toes, lift up into our runner's lunge. We're going to walk our hands in front of our feet, and slowly turn that back foot onto our right heel as we bend more to that left knee for that side lunge. Feel free to adjust yourself. You don't have to be all the way down. It could be here. That feels good for you. Go wherever is comfortable for you. It might be different on each side. Try and use that left elbow to keep that left knee open. So lift your chest up. More breath here. On our feet. Come onto the ball of our foot again over into our runner's lunge. And then bringing that right foot down to the mat so it's almost parallel with the back of your mat. Windmilling our arms up into our warrior two. The left knee over our left ankle. That back foot almost parallel with the back of the mat. Whatever feels comfortable for you. Shoulders over our hips. Turn that left hand up towards the ceiling. That right arm goes down the right leg in our reverse warrior. And a side stretch. Inhale, lift back up, bring that left hand down by the left foot, reach that right arm up and over. Or your left elbow can come to your left knee. You can also do that, or you can have both hands out in front of you. Whatever feels good. Now slowly bring that right foot up as we bring that left hand out in front of us and lift up into our half moon. And open up towards the side wall. If you want a block, that can usually help also. I'll give you a little more stability. That feels good. You want a little bit more, bend that right knee. Kicking the right foot. Opening the hip in. And release. Bending that left knee, coming back into our warrior two, the other side. Windmilling our hands down, coming back to our runner's one. Kicking that left leg back up to our three-legged dog. Bending the left knee Bring the left knee towards the left corner of our mat. The left ankle towards the right corner. Keep right leg out straight behind you. Again, use pillows underneath your left hip or your right hip, underneath your chest, whatever feels comfortable for you. I'm gonna be in this for a few breaths. Slowly walk your hands down. Your chest is on the floor, on a pillow, and your elbows. And just allowing whatever comes up, whatever you're feeling, anxiety or nervousness or happiness or sadness, just allowing yourself to sit with it. As you inhale, just imagine oxygen engulfing all of that. As you exhale, you're just releasing it all. You don't always have to know the why, the how, the what, all the details. Sometimes you just need to feel things and let them go. Taking a long breath here. Exhale, slowly make your way back up. Back up onto your fingertips. Tucking the back right toes and lifting yourself up to set that left leg back into our plank. Inhaling your hips up to our down dog. Feels good to bend one knee and the other. And slowly just lock yourself up. Use your hands. Grab opposite elbows. Just let your body hang for a second. It feels good to twist side to side. Like the stillness. Release your hands. Inhaling halfway lift. Exhaling, step or jump out to your plank. Slowly lower yourself down. All the way down to your mat. Bending your right knee. Grabbing the outside of your ankle with your right hand. Your left hand can be out in front of you on the forearm. All the way out straight. Start to push that right leg up. Bow pose. Release. Switch arms. Bending the left knee. Grabbing the outside of the left ankle. And pushing that left leg up. And release. Now we're going to bend both of the knees and be outside of both of our ankles. And lift your chest up, kick your feet up, coming into our bow pose. It feels good to just sit in the stillness, or if you like to rock back and forth, whatever feels good. You're going as high as is comfortable. And release down, bringing your hands out, push your hips back towards your heels, coming into a wide-legged child's pose. You want your big toes to touch. Your knees are out towards the edges of your mat, sinking your hips back to your heels. And walking your fingertips towards the top of your mat, push your sit bones back onto your heels. Stretching the shoulders and sinking the hips. Just inhale, bringing yourself forward, coming into a tabletop position. You can walk your knees in so they're parallel underneath your hips. From here, we're just going to tuck our toes, push ourselves up into our down dog. Just really pushing the mat away with your feet and your hands. Broadening your shoulders, they're wrapping around your hips, away from your ears. Spine is straight. Hips are lifted. Heels don't have to be touching the mat, your legs don't have to be straight. So just keep working towards. We're going to bend our knees. Just jump through to a seated position. So our legs are out straight in front of us. In our staff pose. Put your shoulders above your hips, your feet about hip distance apart, your legs. And we're going to inhale, lift the arms up. Exhale, fold down. Coming into our forward fold, you can reach for your thighs, your calves. If you have a yoga strap or a rope or a blanket, move your toes around your feet. Just kind of help give you a little bit more of a stretch. I'm going to keep your spine straight and your chest lifted as you fold over. And inhale back up. You're going to take this left foot, so the sole of your foot is on the outside of your right thigh. And if it feels good, you can leave that right leg out straight in front of you, or you can tuck the right foot underneath your left hip also. We're just going to twist and hug that left knee into our chest. If that feels good and you want a little bit more, we can bring our right elbow to the outside of the left knee. Bring that left hand behind us, keeping our spine straight and our chest lifted. Keeping that left knee in close to the body as you twist. Just taking one more breath here. As you exhale, put that right leg straight up in front of you again. Bringing this left foot to the inside of the right leg. I'm going to inhale from our straight forward position first and fold over, reaching as far as you can towards your foot. Reaching that left arm, back and over, lifting onto the left knee and that right arm for a nice side stretch. And release back down. Now we're going to switch our legs. Put that left leg out straight in front of you. Bring that right foot to the outside of the left thigh. And hug the left knee in towards you. You want to hook the left elbow to the outside of the right knee. The right hand out behind you. Keeping your spine straight and your chest lifted. And release. Left leg out straight in front of you. Bring that right foot to the inside of the left thigh. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, fold over. Allowing your muscles to release. Tension to float away. Inhaling, reaching that right arm behind you, coming up onto the right knee. Reaching that left arm up and over for a side pain. Sit back down. Bring the soles of your feet flat on the mat. Reaching your hands behind your knees. And slowly just lowering yourself down to your mat. One vertebrae at a time. Bringing your knees into your chest. Just doing little circles with them. Just massage the lower back a little bit. And releasing your legs down straight out in front of you. Inhale that right leg into your chest, curving onto the outside of the right foot or the right big toe. Just coming into half happy baby. Just reaching that right knee towards our right arm. Either sit in the stillness, movement. Grabbing the outside of the right knee with your left hand. Slowly just start to bring that left knee down towards the mat beside you. Looking over the right fingertips. Applying spinal twist. And release. We're going to do the other leg. So bring the left knee into the chest, grab the outside of the left foot with the left big toe. Bring it to our half happy baby. Grab the outside of the left knee with your right hand. Slowly bring that right knee down to the mat. So look out over your left fingertips. Release back to center. You want to bring the soles of your feet together. We're in our reclined butterfly. Supta you can put a pillow underneath your head or underneath your lower back to make you more comfortable. One hand over your heart, one hand over your belly. Just reconnect with your breath. Your chest rise as you inhale. Belly. As you exhale, feel your belly lower. Chest lower. Just focus on your breath. You allow your body to just release. It feels better for you to bring your legs together and just come down to a regular savasana. Do that also. Connect with your breath and your body. Feel the energy. Feel any of those emotions that wanted to come up, came up into these breaths. Just allow them to be. Acknowledge them. Appreciate them. Stay in your small chair for as long as you want. You want to bend your knees. Retreat somewhere. Slowly bring yourself up. You have to get on with your day. Just end your practice. Just a couple breaths of gratitude. Inhaling out, exhaling. Gratitude for your body, gratitude for your practice, gratitude for your breath. For being able to be present here and now today. Thank you guys so much for joining me. If you like this smaller paced fusion class, let me know. And I hope you guys enjoyed it or at least got some benefit. And have a good weekend.